I'm Shoryamani, and I'm going to just do a simple terminal command line video. So what really is the terminal / command line? So if we go into Spotlight, here we see there's terminal. Now I'm on Mac. In Windows, this would be a command prompt. And I think I'd probably have it installed some way or another. But basically, yeah, I have it. The way this works is you are using your computer the correct way. Now, by the correct way, I mean the old way. You see, the GUI, where you click stuff, this wasn't a thing for a few reasons. Number one, we didn't actually have a mouse. You see, that's probably important. And so when you use the terminal, it's pretty much a good idea to just act like the mouse doesn't exist. If you can see here, the mouse is only used for pretty much just highlighting stuff. And that too, that's a setting you can disable. Now, if you tried to click inside the middle of something, it won't work. So this was built for a time without a mouse. So why would we actually keep it today? Well, it turns out it's really, really powerful. The terminal was not a pro-level workflow. It was the workflow, the only workflow. And thus, it does pretty much everything. And the only things it doesn't do are what have been created for the average consumer really recently. So let's see what this is. Now, mind you, I might seem a little bit lost on this terminal because for me, this is not native, but I've decided to use it for the video purpose. If I just open up iTerm, and then I scroll in, you see, everything that I use is nicely colored and all. This, however, is not. So, let's get to it. What is this? This is called your prompt. You don't even need to have a blinking display. You can turn that off too. All colors can be changed. So I've created a folder here. So what does CD mean? Well, that's really what we're going to start with. CD means change directory. This is the essence of how you get around your computer. So everything has a path. Like everything has a path. So let's say every single file I want to go to has a path somewhere. So let's say I want to go inside documents. I could go CD documents. But I know if we look here in Finder, I have this folder. It's called folder to mess with. So if I do CD folder to mess with, doesn't exist. Why? Because if we do pwd, this shows us where we are. Now, obviously, as we can see here, we're actually inside documents, not just Shoria. So we have to move. So let's say we do CD documents. Now, capitalization doesn't matter. And how did I type that so fast? Simple answer, I didn't. If you do CD, and then I start typing, but I know this is the only thing in this folder that starts with DOC. So when I hit tab, it auto-completes. This is really important because a lot of things become kind of long and almost everything can autocomplete here. This is supposed to completely move to what you normally do. You're supposed to completely get rid of it and change to this. Why? Because it's more powerful, it's more useful. You don't have to, but it's really powerful. So let's say I'm now in, as we can see, pwd means path, right? So I'm in documents. So this should exist. This folder to mess with should exist. And lo and behold, if I type this, tab completion finishes it. So now I'm here. And so let's say I create stuff. What does ls do? Ls does list, right? ls minus al shows us everything inside here. What is dot? Dot is currently where we are. Dot means the directory above it. This stuff means who can use it, who can read it, who can write it, and who can execute it. And back here is where the public can do stuff. Pretty much nothing. Now let's create stuff. So touch. It creates a file. Let's say I wanted to create hello.txt. As you can see, this came pretty much immediately, which it should, considering, well, this is how you're meant to use a computer. And then if we use ls, we can clearly see that it's here. But this doesn't exactly tell us much. We want to see everything about this. ls minus al. So what does minus al really do? So ls is our command. Minus says option. So minus a will show us even hidden folders. So you see, anything that starts with a dot means it's hidden. So let's say I even touched something that started with a dot. So let's touch .hello.txt. It doesn't actually show up here, but it does exist. I haven't used this enough because I use this to know if you can see hidden folders here. You probably can, but if you just do this, we can clearly see that it's there. So now if we really want to see stuff with every detail, we use ls minus al. This gives it in a list format. So what does 1 mean? Well, 1 just means the size of it, which means this has pretty much nothing in it. Now this can go up to astronomical numbers, which is why we use the next option, ls minus al h. H means human. So here it'll show you the size of things in things that, you'll actually know about. Like B means bytes, K means kilobytes. Not really that important for here, but important on bigger files. So you can't be expected to remember this. Now, the basic stuff like AL, ALH, now that you can remember, and it's also mapped to okay, apparently I've mapped that myself in iTerm. But it is usable, and you don't have to remember stuff, right? So man means man pages. What do man pages do? They show you everything you can do with a command. So if I write man, and then I type in, let's say, ls, this is really, really overwhelming. Which is why, for most people, I'd actually recommend just going to the internet for this one. But if you know how to use them, they're really, really good. Like here you can see minus a shows you entries that begin with a dot, also known as hidden entries. And then minus capital A will show you this will just show you a lot more things. Really, you shouldn't need to worry about this because usually B and B capital, same stuff. Sometimes not, sometimes is, but really you won't need too much of this. As you can see, there's a lot of options. Yeah, I can keep scrolling here for a decent bit. But for most people, the question is, hey, I got here, now how do I get out? This is something called bin. So what we need to do is we need to quit. Now, if you just, left click, oh God, there's no way to quit. If I close this, I don't want to really close my terminal. Conveniently, if we just write Q, it quits. Quite handy. If we do this for CD, they've got a lot of things. CD is built for use, and it will be used. You will almost always be using, if you use a command, you will use CD. It's pretty much just how it is. Now, let's say I want to get rid of stuff. Getting rid of stuff is much more fun, but it's also much more dangerous. You see, in the terminal, when computers were created, they didn't see a use for a trash bin. Like on my computer here, I can, let's say if I trash something, I can go back to trash and get it back. That doesn't exist. 2 reasons. Know what you're doing when you use the command that I'm about to show you, and they didn't really have the storage to keep stuff that was meant for deleting. So they didn't make any way to, keep it. Now, today, there's ways that you can keep it. But the point is, if you're using this, you really just shouldn't. So what am I about to show you? Well, rm means remove. So if I go rm and then, I type in a file name like hello.txt, if I hit enter, it just goes away. It doesn't prompt you to do anything. It's just gone. and it will never come back. If I look at trash, it will not be there. I would look at trash, but it just takes too long. And so now, more about RM. Let's say I create a directory. A directory in the command line is created by mkdir, by the way. So just mkdir, and then put in a name. So my directory. Okay, shows up there. So if I try to remove my full directory, which literally just means a folder, it says it's a directory. That's not going to work. This is basically their way of saying, hey, please don't mess up your stuff. Be careful about what you do. But I mean, of course you can still do it. Like if I just use -d, my dir, it's gone. No coming back. Luckily, this is a really smart move when you think you are only deleting empty things, right? So this was empty, which is why RM worked, RM -d. But let's say I went into my directory using, cd, change directory, and I made something. How do you make stuff? If you remember, we typed touch, and then, text.txt. So now if we go back out, so, cd, and if you remember up here, this means the directory above you. So we want to go up one directory. That means we're right now inside my directory, and we want to go to documents. So how do we do that? cd, and then we want to go here. So cd .. If we enter, now if we do pwd, we're just in folder to mess with instead of actually inside my dir. And if we try to just use the same way we deleted stuff last time, it won't work. -d is made for directories that are empty. But hey, I know what I'm doing. I still want to delete this. This is a command you need to be really, really careful about. RM -r. This means recursive, which means let's say I had folders inside this with files inside that, with files inside that, and folders there and files inside. If I use -r and then my dir, and I have the permission to delete it, which in most of your own files you do, it will go. Everything inside of it will also go. And let's say it's being pesky and, telling you can't do stuff, you can still delete it. If you just do rm -rf, this will let you delete even hidden things. So if I just do rm.hello.txt, usually this won't actually let you do stuff. You don't want to, delete things that are hidden. It won't stop you. It'll ask you, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And I mean, if you type Y and then hit enter, it'll still do it. But the point is, you really just want to be extremely careful when you do rm -r. But if you have to, and it's really spamming you with thousands of things saying, hey, you sure you want to delete this? You sure you want to delete this? And you really, really know what you're doing, you can add F to it. This is pretty much just, don't ask me any questions, just do it. Okay? I know what I'm doing. That's basically what you're telling your computer. And I mean, if you do that and lose all your files, that's on you at that point. So, can you go ahead up to the top of your computer and just, go at it? No, your computer will not let you. But, I mean, it'll let you delete your account. So if I did -Shoria, yeah, it'll let me delete my account because I have complete rights to it. But it won't let me delete anyone else's account, so don't try to delete someone else's stuff. And yes, you can see everyone's. Here you can see like everything about your computer. There is everything on here. Stuff it's very difficult to get to with this. And I mean, that's because they want to make it nice. Now, what if you get lost in something like, hey, I got stuck in bin, now I'm here and I have no idea how to get home. So cd tilde. This means home. So what is home? Home is users, your user account. And it's quite useful. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll go into more depth on a lot more things, but those are the main concepts. But let's review first. So what are the commands we learned? We learned cd. cd takes you into different places. So if I just went to documents, and then I also wanted to go to folder inside, we're now there, as you can clearly see. Now let's say we also learned ls. ls lists stuff. Currently this folder is empty, except for this thing. Remember we created that? This still can't see it, but now let's get rid of it. It's just gone. So now my ls minus AO, it's not really much stuff here. You can check what's inside DS store. It's a thing. It just sits there. It's not taking up space on your computer. Usually, if you find stuff that's this small, it really doesn't have that much stuff in it. CD, DS store, you know, ls minus AL, everything is hidden. It didn't even let me go into it. Okay, that's quite disappointing. I could probably show you how to get into that. Again, another video. I'm getting off topic. I love doing getting off topic. So this is an option. You do minus, you do something with it. We also learned that any command has a man page. So, man, and then rm. And here we can see, yeah, that's force. That's the big command. This is what can cause big companies to lose data. Someone using rm minus rf in the wrong place. Okay. What else did we learn? We learned touch. That creates a file. We also learned mkdir, which I barely touched on. It just creates a directory, And why do I not put spaces in things? Truth is, I can do spaces in things. I just have to slash them out. So this will create something with a space. But, if I did mkdir my and dir, well, it creates two directories, and that's not exactly what I wanted. And I mean, if I wanted to get rid of everything, make sure you're in the right place, pwd, just make sure you're exactly where you want to be. And you want to do rm minus r, actually minus d, because that's just safer, and I know all of this is empty, star, and everything's gone. And then what else did we learn? Yeah, be careful with rm. Oh, and I also want to show you what I really work on, not this. So if we just look at iTerm, there we go. So as we can clearly see, there's some big differences. Like when it's just prettier to use. It tells me, it shows me stuff. This is called Fish, by the way. I'll explain how to install it in another video. It's just so much better, and it has colors. Yes, I know, it's crazy. And if we look inside code, these are all the colors of folders. But if we go inside my programming and then Python code, we just do ls. Here, I have all my Python files and text files to be the same color. And I mean, you can change that really, really easily. The good thing about Fish is it's very customizable. If we just do Bob the Fish display colors, this shows you every single bit of this. All of these. They're really nice. Point is, I'll do that in another video. I will also be doing Git in another video, so look out for that one. What is Git? I'll explain it there. All of Python installation, Git Bash installation on Windows computers. I will be showing what pip3 does and how to use it. Python 3. I might do some coding things. I'll also do sudo, which basically means super user do. I guess that really wraps about it. Thanks for watching this.